Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to some more Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. Today we are diving in with another mod spotlight, this time taking a look at the awesome Mount & Blade Warlords. This is a campaign modification which goes ahead and changes how the campaign map is set up, adding in 6 new factions, all with their own unique clans and interesting starting positions. So what we'll do is we'll dive into the campaign and you guys can see it for yourselves and see everything that the mod does go ahead and add. Okay, so we are now on the campaign map and you guys can immediately see the factions that have been added. The Valandians have been split into 2, the Britannians have been split into 2, and the Sturgians have been split into 2 also, alongside the Kuzites. The Kuzites still actually retain a lot of their original settlements and they're definitely the stronger faction in their lands. However, losing 2 cities and a bunch of castles is going to have a really interesting campaign balance. So this mod goes ahead and as you guys can see, adds in 6 new clans to the campaign map, and each of them do have their own unique factions and also clans of their own. So even though these factions have been split into 2, if we take a look at them, you'll be able to see that it doesn't take away from their strength. They still have multiple of clans, I guess 8 clans each, which will really help them out and allow them to go toe-to-toe with some of the bigger factions. Again, the Western Empire also they have 9. Basically, they still retain a lot of their power, even though they have less of the land, which again I think will make for a really interesting power dynamic, not only because there'll be more clans lying around, it will also allow other factions to go ahead and snipe them clans and getting them over to their side, really creating some monstrous powerhouses in the campaign map itself. So we also obviously have new faction banners for each of the clans as well, and I really like the way the modder has gone ahead and designed them. It doesn't take away from the fact that they are all unique, and I really like the way that he's kept the color scheme throughout. I feel like a lot of campaign modifications add in like really crazy banners and it's almost impossible to tell exactly who's in what kingdom. So I really like the unique kind of just kind of sticking with that back color. I think it goes and lends itself pretty nicely. So as you can see, the Valandians hold all of this, and then the secondary Valandian faction up here holds pretty much the entirety of the north. Over here we do have the Britannian faction, the original Britannian faction here, covering a large portion of the outskirts and are going to be really shielding against the western parts of the empire, and then the northern will kind of be taking the brunt of the assault from Valandia and the Norsemen, who have also now been split into 2. So we obviously have a new faction up here. This is going to be the Nordlands, and again you can see multiple different factions in their setup, so able to really get themselves stuck in. And then we also over on the far right have this faction over here. These are the gear, and again multiple factions in their clan, so definitely going to be the stronger one of the 2, but only minuscule. And we actually have a is this the same faction? No, this is actually a brand new faction. So yeah, the Norse have actually been split into 3 separate factions, which is awesome to see. And again, this is kind of one of the weaker ones, but even still, again, I like the way that there is a bit of a power dynamic between them, and I imagine there'll be some real big infighting in the north of the campaign map. And then finally, we do have the Kuzites over onto the far right. These are the Common Var, and again, not as many clans as maybe their southern brethren, but still a strong faction, I'm sure, to go ahead and yeah, try and take over and conquer parts of the land. And just all of a sudden, like, if you're just going into this just the Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord Warlords mod, I think you're going to have an absolute blast, because again, it's going to really change up the way that the campaign balance is. It's always boring, I think, in the current patches, in my personal opinion, how pretty much nothing changes on the campaign map in 1.7.1 unless the player directly influences it. I want to see, like, you know, one or 2 factions really getting big on the campaign map. It makes it more interesting towards the late game when the player is super strong, and it also goes ahead and creates a real kind of dynamic campaign that, oh, this faction's getting really big this playthrough, that's really exciting to see, and they've killed this faction. And I think it just creates a really nice narrative story. Obviously, I don't want the Kuzites just rising to power every single time, but I do want, you know, 1 or 2 factions just getting really strong in the campaign, which gives you that end game boss, which I think Bannerlord could really deal with. And again, mods like this go a long way at changing that up, because it just changes up, throws the campaign balance completely out of whack whether the bigger clans can go ahead and snipe the smaller ones and get really strong, or vice versa, maybe a bunch of small clans now all declare war on one faction. And that's why I will say the diplomacy mod would be a really fun addition if you are looking to build a bit of a mod list using this, because that will allow you to form alliances and other factions to form alliances. It will create truce timers, non-aggression pacts, and so on and so on. And again, more of that stuff is absolutely amazing and really cool to see. One of the things I definitely think that this mod could do to improve its current state is to go ahead and add in unique troop trees. Right now, the troop trees are the standard. The Valandian factions recruit Valandian soldiers, the Britannians recruit Britannians, the Northmen recruit obviously Sturgian soldiers, and so on and so on. So I think this is definitely one thing that is lacking in the mod right now, but that is a huge undertaking, and I assume there's still multiple factions. The Azerai probably need to be split into a couple more factions as well. And I don't know what the mod plans on doing with the Empire. Maybe they're going to leave them alone and leave them as a power block, or whatever. It'll be interesting to see. That is definitely something I would like to see, is more unique factions. That's one of the great things about Karadir Expanded Kingdoms. You do have all them different unique unit trees, but again, it does require you to go ahead and download a bunch more mods, so you kind of have to weigh that up. I like to see this mod as more of a kind of more lightweight campaign mod. If you're looking for just a simple mod to install, which won't kind of break your computer or cause crashes, or you just want something to kind of install and play right away, I definitely recommend you go over and download this, because it does offer you a lot to mess around with, and it's just nice playing with different stuff on the campaign map, and having a different story every single time. Meeting new friends, making new enemies is always very cool indeed. So that is going to be it for today's video. I will of course leave a link to this mod down below in the description. As I said, you should definitely go check it out and show the modders some love. Anybody creating awesome stuff for Bannerlord definitely does need to go ahead and get a shout out. If there are any other mods you guys want to see on the channel, do let me know in the comments down below. I actually believe that speaking of Karadir Expanded Kingdoms, that mod is currently it has a new beta patch for 1.7.1, which would be awesome to see as well, because Karadir Expanded Kingdoms is definitely one of the greats, and it's been a while since that mod has been updated, so it would be very cool indeed. So be sure to go ahead and let me know down below in the comments if you want to see something like that. Definitely go check out Mountain Blade Warlords, and I'll see you guys in the next one.